Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we are doing a video about surviving the quick match ladder, talking about the specific template of Landria. Landria is a relatively new template, was created by Lionheart, who does maps, and also tried to have a slightly different mechanic, which I'm about to explain. So the main point of Landria, or the main settings of Landria, is that you start with 6 territories, 4 initial armies on each one, quite a few wastelands of 2, doesn't really matter. It's cyclic move order, 0% straight round. So that's the main information that you should know. Now, the specific mechanic that you will find on Landria is that you have negative income each time you have both sides of a border. So if you see my mouse here, if you have both Shipu and Takok, for example, you will get -1. If you only have one of them, you don't get any negative bonus whatsoever. It's listed here, or a few examples here, but the first time I played it, I didn't understand what it meant exactly. And after a few games, you start to understand it a little bit better, but in the beginning it's a bit hard, so I'm going to try to walk through you what you should be looking for. So first thing on pick strategy, you should not be looking for like a combo with another border, because you will undoubtedly, unless you blockade behind you, you will undoubtedly end up with a conjoined, a negative border, and that will be bad for you. Like for example, you see here the +1 in Shireya. I could do a 1, 2, 3. Of course, it's not optimum, it's just an example. Do the 1, 2, 3, and if I would get this territory, all of these 3 picks, I would automatically be -1, because I already have 2 territories bordering each other. And the only way to avoid this -1 is if I have full Shireya and full Zvirevo. So yeah, keep that in mind when you're doing picks. It's okay to do combos. Like for example, I did a combo here in Sankor, because also countering early on is a bit, it's more risky. I mean, you can counter from Durup, but you will have to go full on and blockade behind you to make sure that you don't end up with the border giving you negative income. So either you blockade behind you and you have a limited number of blockade cards. As you can see here, you start with 4 blockade cards and 2 gifts. So you need to be careful about your use of blockade cards. But okay, the main strategy for this, as I see it, feel free to put your comments behind, is try to do combos, but not too intensive combos. I mean, putting 2 picks into obvious, well, I mean, this is a first turn bonus, pretty much. And if you can combo it with Takok and Turup, you can pretty much get this without any deployment. The only problem is that you will have to blockade behind you, otherwise you get negative income. If it's a territory that is neighboring it, that you can finish it completely in one other turn, it might be viable for you to retain that, get the negative income, and then expand that immediately on the second turn. Otherwise, you will have to probably blockade behind you, and then it's very hard to expand without incurring into negative income, because whatever you do, you won't want to blockade behind you on a fully owned territory. So this is where the second part of my picking strategy comes into play, which is try to have as much different presence as possible. Even if you have one very lonely pick somewhere on the other side of the map, which you only use to counter, that's really good, because you can always blockade behind you or go in the middle of a territory and don't get any negative income whatsoever. Remember, it's only when you cross the border that if you have both sides of the border, that you get the negative income. So yeah, that's the strategy. That's what I try to do here. I put a combo here on the +4, trying to get it in 1 turn, actually, with Cord. So I would blockade Cord behind me, or actually also I could go into Anchingen as well if I wanted to. Then I went for 4-5 in Sankor, and then I put the other ones further away from the map to have more coverage as possible, like in Tai, and then on the top on the north. And this worked out pretty well for me on the game. You can see here real quick. He had some combos as well, but they weren't as good as mine. Like this one takes a lot of time to complete, 3 turns, although it's pretty safe, but it takes a long time to complete. And the +1 is just a bad combo, because getting this +1 whatever border you do next, you are going to get negative income, which is going to cancel your +1. So it's getting a +1 in this setting is pretty useless. Sometimes you don't even want the +1 to complete it, because you know you will have to blockade behind you, just making your way into another territory. So yeah, I don't think it's worth watching the full history here. I just wanted to give you a laydown of the best picking strategy, and then when you expand, you need to have this into account. Like for example, here you will see how I expand. I guess we will play a few. Of course, this does the wrong way. Okay, so this is my first turn. I expand properly into here, blockade behind me to avoid the negative income, and expand there. See, I don't have any borders here, so this is fine. Even though I'm in both territories, I won't get it anytime soon. And I decide not to expand into Marathos, because on previous settings, it might be worth going into Marathos to help finish PIE. But on this settings, it's not, because you want to avoid getting that border for as long as possible. And on the next turn, I will... oh my god, I hate this work. Okay, I will get completely PIE. I have enough income for that. And on the next turn, still knowing no negative income, you can see here. On the next turn, I will finish Balam completely. And I have been 3 turns without any negative income whatsoever, which will help me also expand faster and go places faster. So then I work on the south. And you can see that I have a lot more income than my opponent has. He recklessly expanded on this particular turn. Which can work, cannot work. Depends if you're going to finish everything on the next turn or not. He managed to finish. He has pretty much same income as me, 1 more even, because he couldn't finish core. But I have much better position. Like with a very big stack here, I can either break him and blockade behind me, or flank, or even go here if I had intel that he was in Calabi. A lot of different things that I can do. And also I'm threatening to get Tapao with only 1 negative income from Concreiro. So yeah, this is the way I figured out it's the best way to play the map. But as I mentioned, I'm very new to the template, so feel free to put your comments below, especially Lionheart and the people who have been helping him test the template. Feel free to post your comments and the best picking strategies and expansion strategies for playing Landria on a professional level. So yeah, hope that's it, or that's it. Hope you guys learned something from this video. See you next time. Bye bye everyone. Take care.